Good evening.
Good evening.
This is Martha, and for you people that don't know me, I'm Marilyn's gatekeeper, and I'm so glad to meet you all tonight. And I want to know those new people out there, so would you please go around the room and introduce yourselves to me?
This is Nicholas.
I'm glad to see you again, Nicholas. Welcome for coming.
You're welcome.
This is Monty.
Well, good evening, Monty. You're new here, aren't you?
Yes.
Yeah, everybody was waiting to see what energy you'd bring, and I'm sure they just love having you here tonight with them.
Hey Martha, this is Virginia. Thank you for coming.
Virginia, I'm so glad you're here. You just seem to keep coming back. That's what I've heard before. Keep coming back. Thank you.
Hi Martha, it's Brenda. Thanks for coming.
Brenda, good to have you here this evening, and hope you had a good day.
I did hope you did too.
Yeah, I had a terrific day. Okay, who's next?
Hi Martha, this is Mary.
Oh, Mary, you were here last time.
Yes.
Oh, we're glad. We must have done something right, okay?
Okay.
How's your brother?
My brother's doing okay, but he went to the doctor last week and they end up that decreased his medicine, and now they decided he needed more medicine because that's the reason why they thought the rash reappeared.
Oh my, I'm sorry to hear that.
Yes, me too.
Yeah, that's not what we were hoping would happen. Oh well, we'll do what we can.
Okay, good. Thank you. Thank you, Martha.
Martha, I'm Mac, and you're always so enthusiastic and jubilant that it just warms my heart. I just love it when you come in, Martha.
Well, I'm glad to have you here too, Mac. You just add a lot to our experience, and thank you for coming.
Thank you, Martha.
I'm Sunny. Hi, Martha.
Sunny, how are you? I haven't met you before, and I bet you have a sunny disposition. I just know you do.
You know, yes, yes.
And we're so glad to have you share it with us tonight.
Thank you.
Hi Martha, this is Les. How are you?
Les, welcome.
Thank
and
you.
You're new tonight.
Yes.
Hope we don't scare you away.
Oh no, I used to come to David's circles, so it would take a lot.
Okay, well, you're just one of the gang then.
That's it.
Okay.
Hi, Martha. It's Nancy.
Oh, Nancy, did you have a good trip?
I did. I had a wonderful trip with Les here.
Wonderful. Did all things go well for
Yes.
you?
Thank God.
Yes. She's my angel.
Well, we worked on her while she was here and trying to get her everything together so she could make the trip. And was it a big success?
It was
It
a big
was.
success. Thank you.
Oh, you're so welcome.
Bless you.
Yeah.
It could have been a little different, but it was good.
It worked.
Okay, well, you're here and alive and happy, and that's what counts.
Yes, bless you.
Okay, and I just thought it was so cool. Saturday, I went to a funeral with Marilyn, and they mentioned my brother Lazarus, and I want you to know that what's going on tonight with your circle has a lot to do with how Jesus healed Lazarus and resurrected him, and that inner light hopefully will come alive inside of you if it hasn't, or increase even more so you can have a resurrection too and work towards that. So it was exciting to know people still remember us. Well, I want to tell you that John has been waiting eagerly for this evening. He came into Marilyn earlier today and said what he wanted to talk about. So for Mac and Mary, it might be a little redundant. Would you please be patient with us while we have a reason for doing this? We're bringing you from A to Z tonight spiritually, okay?
That's fine, Martha.
All right.
Thank you, Martha.
I'll be back. Good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening.
I'm John.
Hi, John.
Hi.
Glad to be here this evening. This is a very special day. If some of you did not understand, it is spring solstice.
Mm-hmm.
And because of that, we have a special surprise for everybody. We want to help take away your guilt tonight and help you move forward in your spiritual growth in a way you might not have done before, and to accelerate those people needing to move more quickly as we move in ascension. And so tonight is a very special night. And I would like to start Some of you might think of it as a fairy tale, and when they say fairy tales can come true, this really is a truth and not a fairy tale. So hang on to your seats while you hear some information of what happened for you to come into the earth and go through the things you're going through today and coming out on the other side. This might not match some of the things you've heard before, but you might have a knowing or something in your heart will sing or ring out to you, and you will remember. And we hope you have a great remembering tonight. Because when we were all one in spirit, some spirits decided that they would like to take their energy and play with it. And they came in the first wave of spirit to earth and had a frolicking good time. And as they were practicing shifting energy and changing in and out of different dimensions and finding out what they could do, they discovered that as they created human bodies, they could create animals. And in their enthusiasm, they said, what would happen if we put the animals and combine them with people? And so you will hear history that talks about animals that were part horse and part man, or part woman and part fish, and the centaurs and the minotaurs and the sea people, the mermaids, were actually really did happen. And they aren't a myth. They were the experiments of energy and shifting and moving around and finding out what they could create. Sadly, as they did this, they were so engrossed with their creations that they went deeper into lower density of vibration, into third dimension, and they were trapped. This cut off their spiritual connection, and their chakras quit working, so they had no connection, and they had no way and understanding of what to do to get themselves out of their predicament. Well, the people that did not come in the first wave, the entities that did not come, they weren't people, they were spirit, did not come, but they saw what was going on. They felt very badly because we are all one, and that was part of them down there entrapped, couldn't get back into spirit. So a decision was made for a group of spirit people, again, entities, to come in a second wave to earth with a plan that they would reduce their energy and lower it into high enough that they could work with the people here trapped in their lower density, but they could work with them and still move back into spirit. They were kind of like in a transitional phase. They could go either way. If they were careful, they wouldn't get entrapped like those that were already. So they put together a plan to help the people be released from their entrapment. Came down to help them. The leader of this group was known as Emilius. You know him as Jesus. He came with a plan and a group of people to help plan their return back to spirit. And when they came into Atlantis, everything went well for quite some time. They became known as the children of the law of one. They were very spiritual. Things evolved to a very high technical, advanced state of technology and dynamics. It was very, very high, even higher than what we have today, that they could accomplish through their wise culture and expertise of knowledge and wisdom. And in this process of helping the entrapped ones, they were having good success and helping them to be able to move back into their more of being a person rather than an animal. And during the process, a few of those that came with Jesus decided that if they had all this power to help these people return back to spirit. They could use that power in a negative way to control the humanimals. They could have them as slaves. They could dominate them and control them for their own benefit. And so they broke off from the children of the Law of One and became known as the sons of Belial. Now we have two factions. We have the negative or the dark, and we have the light and the positive side. And things were starting to become unsettled because of this. The dark side was trying to enhance more and more people to come join them, and they were going to rule everybody, and they would become slaves to the dark side. And doing this, the sons of Belial were very exuberant in some of the mechanisms that they were creating. And some of the energy plants that they had put together became very, very high-tech and seriously could do damage. And that's exactly was the downfall. In a nutshell, these pieces of equipment were touched off in ways that exploded and created huge earthquakes and the demise of Atlantis. And that this was happening not all at once, but in sections of Atlantis broke off at various times. So the children of the Law of One started to leave and take their place out of there, heading for what you would now call Egypt. By now, they had a new leader because Aurelius was no longer there. Jesus had reincarnated as Thoth. And when they got to Egypt, he became the first king of Egypt. Now the sons of Belial also left and went around in places that were safer and continued to try to take over people and dominate and continue what their thrust was to enslave them. The children of one actually went to many different places, not just Egypt, but that's the one we're talking about tonight. And when they got there, they created temples to help surgically help these humanimals return back to looking totally human, and they were quite successful in their ways of spiritually working on them and the operations necessary for those people to look more like humans. And today you can even see remnants of some of those people. If you see someone that might have a goat face or a pig face appearance, that is just genetically coming down through the ages and still manifesting in very subtle ways today. The people of as we move forward, you'll notice that these people that were humanimals still were having a lot of work to do to be able to regain their spiritual connections. And that's a lot of what they were learning. And this has been actually the process for thousands of years of regaining that spiritual connection that was lost. And so I want you to know tonight, when people have been told they're sinners or they're going to hell and those kind of things, what happened was to people, it was not because of sin, it was because of their ignorance. They were having fun. They were not trying to do anything wrong other than experience and experiment. And this guilt trip has been going on for thousands of years. And as the different religions were started from the Law of One, the different offshoots, the first religions were very much like the original teachings of the laws of the universe. But as time progressed, and the sons of Belial were trying to encourage more and more people to go towards their feelings of how to dominate other people and use that force against them instead of for them and helping people. we had different religions spring up that actually presented false information and twisted information so that people were not getting the truth any longer. So to perpetuate the truth as it was needing to be continued for centuries, as you know, that was the beginning of the Brotherhood, the White Brotherhood, as also called other things throughout the centuries. But that was the instigation of needing to have a way to maintain the truth, that none of this was because you were bad people. None of this was because you were hurting others. It was all out of a playful ignorance. And it has been such a sad story of how it's been disassembled into used against you in so many ways that people today have carried with them for eons this message that they're sinners, that things are going poorly, you are causing troubles and you have to be punished type of thing, and therefore we are going to tell you how to lead your life, etc. Those things are just offshoots of the son of Belial and part of the dark side. We want you to know that the white light creates people that have what you say is a warm-blooded system, and the sons of Belial, you might say, have what you might call a reptilian system, or cold-blooded people. And I'm sure that when you come in contact with those kind of people, you in here would be very aware of which those were that you're in touch with. We want you to know tonight that you are wonderful children of God and always have been. And the people, the sons of Belial, believed in separating from that wonderful spiritual oneness and believed in separation. And as they believed in separation and selfishness, that's when the problems started to occur with the cultures of the different times. The misery, the suffering, the pain, and the disease is all because of the separation. So tonight we're going to try to help you to bring that separation back to oneness. And shortly we have a big surprise to help you do that. Now as we move forward in time, there has been so many stories that have been distorted about what was going on spiritually. I hope I didn't offend anyone. This is not a fairy tale. This is something that will be more well aware and exposed in shortly time as we move through ascension. The truths are going to be exposed. You people here are on the road much faster than the mainstream, we'll find out. But this is so you can help others. The people in this room, you're light workers. You are here to awaken to the light and to realize that you can stand strongly in the light of God and move forward in the love and strength and unselfish love of the oneness. And we are going to work on that later this evening. So it's just a matter of, now that you have chosen to be in the light, to understand that the past information that has been oppressing you was not really who you are. Tonight I want you to know that you are all children of God, all children of the light, and in the suppression, your heart closed. Now the people in this room have wonderful hearts, but I want you to open them even further tonight because you are going to have a very special experience. So I am here to tell you that this story is not a fairy tale, but that it was just an act of ignorance. No one has to carry guilt with them ever again. You are relieved of your guilt. It is a useless emotion. And if at any time someone likes to play that game with you, hopefully now you will be strong enough to walk away and say, I don't choose to walk that game anymore. I'm choosing a different direction and going forward into the light. And that's where you started out from, and that's what we are returning to in ascension. So hopefully tonight you will have a better understanding of the situation, and it's just a matter of working it out so that you really truly inside can feel that presence of God. So I would like to leave you right now and say that we have a special guest tonight, and that special guest is Mother Mary. She has a wonderful, wonderful healing for you to better be able to move into that awakening inside of oneness. So she will be here in a minute.
Thank you for that background, John.
Thank you, John.
Thank you, John.
I am so glad to be here. I am Mother Mary.
Bless you,
Bless you.
Mary.
Bless you all, children. I am so thrilled that you are here this evening. You are a very special group of people. This group was specifically brought tonight for this very thing that we are going to experience shortly. And you are specially chosen people. Every one of you is a big shining light in your Father's eye. Please take that in. Please accept that gift. It is your true inheritance. It is who you truly have always been and will be forevermore. And I want to say that some people have had some great wounds and problems in their lives that have been very difficult to overcome. And sometimes they just don't go away all by themselves, do they?
Mhm.
Sometimes we need spiritual help to heal those situations. And if it's been reoccurring for some time and it's a deep, deep pain, tonight would be a wonderful night to say, I am ready to let it go. I am ready to move on and to heal it with God's love and grace. And I am here to assist you with that. I am the Heavenly Mother. Your God is your Heavenly Father. And tonight we are going to bring our energy together for you. And so you can bring your energy of feminine and masculinity together. And it can join into the oneness of who you are. You are going to come into a special balance of energy tonight because of this. So we want you to just relax. Hopefully you have nothing pinching or causing any discomfort. If you do, just release your belt or something that is tight or something, kind of unbutton your shirt or whatever so your collar isn't so tight, and just really relax so we can help you with these things. You see, these dark negative emotions, that's what keeps you down in the lower part of your being. And it's still the remnants of the humanimals that we were at one time. So as we are going to release the last of that energy, as we are going to release more fears or resentments, more anxieties that you might have, and wounds and pains. It was so wonderful last time when Archangel Michael helped you people with your fears. That was the beginning of what we're doing tonight. This is a continuation, actually. And I want you to know that whatever it is, that we can bring it into the light of God. And that's the important message tonight, is we're moving from any deep, dark energy that is lower vibration into bringing it up into the light of God, where you really, truly are and can now finally access, because we are going to do a little adjusting of your energy to allow that tonight. If some of you didn't realize, you're in the third dimension so that you can learn to adjust energy. Communication skills, feelings, all kinds of energy are being learned by people today in mainstream of how to be more positive. Some of them are learning to have the glass half full instead of half empty. Tonight, we want you to say, my cup runneth over. Doesn't that sound wonderful?
Yes.
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 So you can experience that by changing your energy from the dark pains of the past. So I want you to think of lying down or going to a sanctuary, a place where it's so safe for you. Where do you go to meditate? Where do you go to relax, where you can get away from the world? And I want you to go there and find that place that's maybe the beach, maybe the woods, whatever the place is that you find comfortable, that you visualize when you're meditating, because that's the safest place you can be. And I'll give you a minute to get into your space. And now that you are calmly rested, I want you to think about 1, 2 of your wounds, or maybe 3, that have been so painful. And I want you to think first, if you do it with one person first, that will probably give you the way to handle this. But that one person that was causing so much difficulty for you, so much trouble, that it was so painful in your life, and you want to release it. And you think of the next person that is, or a situation maybe. Maybe there is a boss in your life, or a relative, or a spouse, or some group of people, your job where you've had difficulty. It doesn't matter where the pain comes from, and maybe it was your parents. Sometimes our parents are in our lives for a very special reason. So those people are to line up next to a stage. I want you to see a stage that they are going to walk up the steps, and take your first person up onto the stage, and that first person is in the middle of the stage, and you're sitting in the audience, and they just completed the best performance of their life. They just got finished performing and acting out the very script you wrote for them before you came into this incarnation. And they're bowing, and you're standing up in your seat. They did such a miraculous job. You bought it hook, line, and sinker, didn't you? And you're clapping because they did such a courageous, brave job to help you learn that lesson. And you are now sending them love and forgiveness. You are giving up the past for a new today. You are forgiving. When you give up the past, you are releasing the bondage to that person. It doesn't mean it was a wonderful behavioral experience. It was very painful, I'm sure. Sometimes women go through very painful abuse as children. Sometimes young boys go through extremely painful feelings and behavioral problems that people perpetuate through abusive punishment, and they have to endure. We all have had those lessons. And now you are ready to forgive them, and you are ready to let them walk off the stage. But before you do, you need to know something. And that is, they played the part that you wrote for them. So do you need to forgive somebody who was really just doing what you asked of them?
Mm-mm.
Really, who do you need to forgive? Yourself. Because you needed that experience to heal your soul. Think of your soul as a diamond full of many facets. That's what makes it shine so brilliantly. The light hits every facet that's cut perfectly and shined, polished to the nth degree. And as you give up and forgive yourself, you have now shined that facet of your diamond, of your soul. So it is brilliantly shining. Because as you forgive them and now forgive yourself, your soul has been healed with loving that you needed, love yourself, that you needed that experience. And they did it for you. They were very, very good at what they did. They really got you, didn't they? And you set the whole thing up. Wow. Isn't that amazing? So now that they are ready to leave the stage, and you can give them their Academy Award. They deserved it. As they leave the stage with their award, continue to clap that they were so miraculous in their causing excruciating pain, and now with love and forgiveness it's ready to heal. And as you let the next person come up, or the situation that you're having to deal with, it might be a group of people. You might want to have the whole group up on the stage, because in the Academy Awards, don't they have all the writers come up, and all the directors that have more than one director, or all the different people that were the team, and they went up together. And all those people participated in that experience that you needed. And it might have been extremely painful. Maybe all those people were your family, and the dysfunction was just excruciating at times. But they all joined in to come to earth and play that part you wrote out, because those were still the last parts of your soul to be healed. They were helping you. Didn't feel like it at the time, though, did it? It didn't feel at all like that. But you are a light worker. You know today as a child of God that you don't have to stay in that pain. You can see that it is time to forgive them. So as you say, I choose to let go of the past for a new today. I'm giving up the past for a new day. And giving them the applaud they deserved. As you forgive them, remember, they acted out the role you wrote for them. And you are again shining another facet in your diamond soul to shine brightly, because you are healing it with the love of the Father and your love, knowing what a great job they did for you. Without them, you couldn't have grown. They were your way to grow out of the negative feelings into the love. Sometimes it's easier than others to do that. But tonight you are very comfortably situated, and it will be much easier to see it from a higher perception. Stand back and just see what a great job they did. And it doesn't have to be painful anymore, because the love is covering it. And with the love, the pain dissolves. As they step off the stage, put your last very painful situation, person, place, or thing on the stage, and you're again standing up and applauding. My goodness, they didn't really even want to help you. It was such a painful experience. They really didn't want to have to go through that themselves to help you, but they had committed to that, and they kept their word that they would follow through with your script that you wrote, because it was necessary for your growth. Do you know what that's called? It's called unselfish love. That person loved you so much, they were willing to give of themselves to make sure that you could heal that part of your soul. Clapping for them, it's time to tell them that you forgive them, not the behavior, but their God self. You have to know that we're all one. You don't have to let go of the behavior, just their soul has to be released so you're not connected to it anymore. And as you realize how much they must have loved you to have gone through that experience that was so devastating to you, how much that love was there for you all the time, and you didn't even know it. And as they leave the stage, there is a hot air balloon, and the 3 situations, people, or whatever you need to put into the basket of the hot air balloon is going to carry them away out of your life forever. So as they get into the basket, Be sure they're in there safely and the door is shut, and it is time to release the rope, and they are starting to lift off into the air, off into higher and higher realms of the sky above. Out higher and higher, the balloon lifts them up, and they start drifting with the wind, and the wind is taking them towards the horizon and over the horizon, and gradually you see them no more. They are no more a part of your life. If by chance these memories of feelings come back, just cut the cord again and let them drift back off. You don't have to remember anything and replay this. Just if the feeling comes back in of that pain, just cut the cord and go on with whatever you're doing, knowing that they're going off again. And eventually, it won't take too many times, and you will totally have healed the situation. And now I would like you to feel like you are that small child, and it's time to lie down for a rest. And as you lie down, you need a blanket over you. Now some of you know about the blanket with roses on it that is my blanket. It hangs in a church, a Catholic church in Mexico City. If you ever go there, the Lady of Guadalupe, go to the Catholic church, you will be able to see my blanket with roses on it. Just like Jesus had enough fish and loaves for the 5,000, my blanket is going to be able to be big enough to cover all of you. You will have your own blanket, which is part of mine, and it is my blanket of nurturing. Mothers nurture. Some of you did not have mothers that nurtured, and this is your opportunity to feel that warmth, love, acceptance, and unselfish love of a mother. And I want to give you a few moments to feel, as you're wrapped in my blanket, how loved and protected and safe you now are. While you're feeling protected and safe and warm and cozy, I want you to understand something. It is time for your heart to open further. When it says in the Lord's Prayer, Our Father which art in heaven, heaven is you, your physical body. And now that you have been cleaned of your wounds, you have a beautiful vessel for spirit. And the Father is the energy inside the vessel. And to feel that energy come alive inside your being as that divine spark in your heart opens, fills your heart, and that energy of God, that energy that is so powerful, can fill you from head to toe. Feel the energy. When you are meditating next time, that is how you want to feel the energy of God flowing in you, the energy of God moving in you. You are not powerless anymore. You have the power of God. You are not without a Father. Your Father always was inside. Your Heavenly Father is that energy that was not able to come out completely because of the wounds. But now you have the safety to do that and to retain that wonderful experience of the presence of God. So when you bring the presence of God inside, surrounded by the loving nurturing of your mother, you are combining the feminine and the masculine. And you people are coming into wholeness and balance. And you are going to be terrific workers in this coming ascension, because you have experienced what the other people are needing to learn. You have gone through a cleansing and a learning experience that you can continue after tonight, and do this in any other parts of your life that is necessary. Remembering that you were told a lot of stories, and they were the fairy tales. I told you the story of truth. Truth will set you free. You have been set free tonight. How does that feel? And now it's time to move from our blankets back to where we were starting originally, because that younger person inside has now had an experience that not many people understand. You have wiped the slate clean in those parts of your life, and that's going to feel like the innocence of a child. When it says in the Bible, you can only enter the heaven of God as being a little child, you have removed the obstacles and you are now in innocence. You should feel sparkly, happy, and joyous, and free of any guilt right now. And to continue that feeling as you emotionally grow from being a child into junior high, high school, college age, and adulthood. You have the innocence today. You have removed the blocks that connect you to the spirit of oneness. Back in your meditative place, you now have a lesson of which you need to, when you leave the circle tonight, is your goal in life. Because we are moving out of selfish separation and into oneness and unselfish love, that is who you have now become. You are now one in spirit, and you will act in unselfish love, which means you don't have to keep reading all those books to be spiritual. Yay! All you have to do is be caring, kind, compassionate, giving, and harmless. When you act in those modes, you are spiritual. You get to live in compassion and joy. And as you do that, your spirituality will spread to others. It's that simple. You will be giving your spirit to others. You will be caring, which is passing loving spirit to others. You will be loving, which is passing your spirit to others. Kindness, and if you do no harm, you are a true child of God, living in the oneness of spirit again. Return to your home with God inside with your heart, where the Father liveth, and now the Father can doeth the work through you. You are most blessed people tonight. Please accept this gift, knowing you are chosen. I want to go around the room with Nicholas.
Yes.
Your Father is well pleased with you. You are a special child of God.
Thank you.
Monty,
Yes.
your Heavenly Father is thrilled with your progress and is well pleased with all your efforts. So know that you are a special child of God.
Thank you.
And the next person is Virginia, I believe.
Yes.
Virginia, you know today that you have gone through this before, and this is a remembering for you. But you have totally pleased your Father with coming to help others, and He is well pleased with you.
Thank you, Mary.
You're so welcome. And we want Brenda to know that with all her struggles and all her frustrations, you are in the right place at the right time. Quit struggling. Just let yourself know what a wonderful child of God you are, and He is so pleased with you. You're welcome. And Mary,
Yes.
you are a person who is very compassionate and giving, and your Father has been very pleased with many of your efforts and wants to know what a special person you are and wants to know that you are His special child, and He is well pleased with you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And Mac,
Yes, John.
your Father knows how long you have been coming into this creation, reincarnating, and how much you have done over eons. And it's time for you to recognize that you have done a magnificent job, and your Father is well pleased with you.
Thank you, John. That's certainly good news.
And now we have Sunny. Who is Sunny? She is a wonderful lady. She does all kinds of things to help people in many ways and has a wonderful heart. And Sunny, you are a special child of God, and your Father is well pleased with you.
Thank you.
And Les,
Yes.
you have gone through some very serious situations in your life and come out so miraculously well. You have stayed in the light and done a wonderful job of doing that. God wants you to know how special you are as His child, and He is well pleased with you.
Thank you.
And Nancy,
Yes.
you have taken on a long, large road to hoe in healing your spirit this lifetime. And God is so pleased that you've hung in there and done your best with the tools you had, and you have grown, and you are so blessed tonight, and He thinks of you as a special child, and He is so pleased with you.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Now that you have all risen from the depths of what was so painful and become victorious, you have resurrected. May you leave the cross behind and move forward in your life with all the self-esteem, all the self-confidence, all the self-respect that is your true inheritance. The Father is alive in all of you tonight, and in that maturity and that unselfish love that you choose to give to others, it will come back to you because we are giving to ourselves. We're all one. And as the more we see others as ourselves, there's no reason to present harm to anyone because we would not hurt ourselves. It is wonderful to send love to others because we would like to love ourselves even more, I'm sure. You people are a special group tonight. You are here by no mistake. And I want you to know that any time you have a difficulty, you can call on me to love you through it. I came and spent the whole afternoon with Marilyn Wednesday after her surgery. And when a person has me in their presence, there is no pain. So if you need to have that kind of comfort, be sure to call on me. I am always with you, and just know that I'm there to be your Heavenly Mother. And if you didn't have a mother, I'll be glad to take that place, knowing that you always have had a mother, and I have been there for you. I love you all so very much as my children. I want you to know how proud I am of all of you. Spiritual journey is going to be so helpful to the rest of the people that are just now awakening. And so as you go out tonight, you have come through a tremendous shift in a very short time. So do take time out tonight to kind of reminisce or meditate, do a little reflection maybe, just take it easy, just kind of take the essence of who you are inside and enjoy. Life is to enjoy and feel that wonderful feeling that is truly what we're all about. I would like to leave you with my blessings, that you are truly loved. You have no reason to ever go back to the guilt that was so sadly placed on you. Hopefully that has been dispelled as we move into the oneness of the group in this room. And as you leave tonight, as you spread that oneness of unselfish love to the others beyond, so we can all awaken at the end of the ascension and see us for who we truly are instead of who we thought we were in the past. May God be with you all. Good night.
Good night.
Thank you so
Good night,
much.
Mary.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, I hope everybody had an interesting inner experience tonight.
Mm-hmm.
It was meant to help all of you get past some hurdles that might have been difficult and to better understand how this process works. It was in a miniature form tonight. Most times it takes eons of years. You see, people have been growing in this way ever since Jesus came as the Christ. He came to help people move into this place, and gradually over the thousands of years, people have gradually moved into understanding love. And tonight I hope you got a new understanding of love from a little different perspective of how the whole thing came together. So we're glad you came. And I want you all to just have a whip snorting, tooting, happy evening, and toodaloo!
Toodaloo. God bless you.